Good morning. I'm a little bit sick again, unfortunately. Um, but such is life. Today, I would like to explore with you my giant pile of unread books. I had a phase of very big obsession last year, and I think within a year I bought more than 100 books, and I already had a lot to start with, and I've been working my way through that little pile, and I have a little bit more than 100 left now. So yeah, let's just look at them. Obviously I haven't read any of them, but we can look at them, I can talk about them, how I found them and stuff, and I thought that might make for an interesting video. So without further ado, let's start here. This is my immediate TBR shelf. I already explained in my last video. Look, let's get the plant out of the way a little bit. This is where I pick my next read from, and every time I finish a book I pick one from all of these here and I add one from my pile. And I just got like quite different stuff. I try to balance between like fiction and non-fiction, but right now, well, we got Henry David Thoreau here, Civil Disobedience in World, and I wanted to read that one for a long time, but it's kind of a bit daunting, you know. We got Kairos, the winner of the, was it the Pulitzer Prize or the Booker Prize? I don't even remember. But this is like one of the only books I bought new and not secondhand. Then, yeah, some philosophy I want to get into. This book that is, I gave into the hype. It went super viral like last year, and maybe it still is, and everybody seems to love it. Then I got Proust here. I want to read this one. I also have In Search of Lost Time, but before I get into that, I would like to, you know, see if I even like his writing style. And just a lot of other stuff here. The Poisonwood Bible that has been on this shelf for a while because it's a big book. But yeah, let's look at my very big pile. It's right over here next to all my plants, one of my other very big hobbies. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. And I spend way less money than you probably think on this because almost all of these, with a couple exceptions, I obtained second hand. Where I used to live, there was in the little village where I used to live, there was always a Christmas market book sale where every book went for like €1, you know, and they had all the classics like the Brothers Karamazov. And this Anaconda edition too. That's no, that's not Anaconda actually. Never mind. But I got this for €1, and a lot of these I got for ridiculously cheap, you know. And for some of them I did spend a lot of money, and I'll just walk you through them. First of all, there's this giant fucking brick of a book. This is probably the biggest book I have. Let's see. Oh, it's in different parts. Never mind. In total, I guess about 1,300 pages or something, which I got as a gift a long time ago, but just the sheer amount of book here, you could kill someone with that, you know? That's mainly why it's all the way in the back here. And then, yeah, just a lot of classics. Books from my bachelor course that I never read until now, and I finished my bachelor's course 2 years ago. This is from a friend from Hungary, and she recommended it, and then my roommate read it and gave it to me. Because I would like to read books from as many countries as possible. The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell. Also really want to get into that. I got the Franz Kafka biography, and I got the Letters to Milena, which is, if I read those two, I'm pretty sure I read like 98% of literature by him or about him. Oh, I just realized my nail is dirty, I'm sorry, but you'll have to deal with that now. My Marquez obsession is kind of, I don't know if it's over, but for like some time, I guess like about 3 years ago, I was reading a lot of Marquez, and he wrote a lot of stuff, so I haven't read all of it, but I'll get to it. This is from a local author and from the Wendland where I used to live. Self-published. I didn't know him personally, but I just thought it was kind of cool. I think it's like a middle grade fantasy book or something. And then this one, I'm not gonna get it out now, I think, but a couple of years ago there was a video by a YouTuber called Cloud Cuckoo Country about ergodic literature, which is basically just very weird books, and those two illuminate. I think it's quite well known, this book. It's just very, not written like a normal book. It's full of like diagrams and cutouts and all that kind of stuff. And this one, The Bats of the Republic by Zachary Thomas Dodson, it's basically two stories at the same time. Like the left page of the book is always in the past and the right page is in the future, so it like narrates those stories at the same time, which kind of makes you think like, how do you read them? Like, do you read one of them first and then read the other one, or do you read them both simultaneously? That's kind of what this video was about, and that's I think I own almost every book from that video. It also had like what is it? Kane's Jawbone, I think it's called. This like riddle book that you have to like puzzle together. And this one I spent like 60 euros on it, which by that point was the most money I ever spent. I since spent more on another book, but we'll get into that. It's from, I think it's like from the Denver Public Library or something. But yeah, this book hunt was quite fun. I'll show you another book. This little tiny thin one here, Scourge Atlas. Come on, focus. That was also in that video, and that was the first time I ever really like hunted for books, because it was out of print for a very long time. And it used to go for like hundreds of euros, and like sometimes even like 1,000 or like 300 bucks. It was a lot of money. And then this one website offered it for like 16 or something. And obviously they didn't even have it in stock. It was a mistake. And so I ordered 2 copies, and they never arrived. Well, they eventually did arrive, as you can see, but for like a year they didn't arrive. And then I eventually got it for like 60 bucks. I think that's the slightly different colored one in the bottom. And then a while after, it was in print again and my delivery arrived. So now I have 3 copies of the same book. And it's just an extremely violent tale of distraction and dystopic stuff, Anyway, I don't really need to have 3 copies of this. So if you want one, just hit me up. I'll send it to you if you send me another book in exchange. So, but you can also buy it now. So anyway, let's get back here. This I really want to get into. The second book of the Kingsbridge trilogy. I think it's a quadrology. I really like the first one. Well, I don't know the English. I forgot the English title. I have them in German, but the historical novel. All of the books are like 1,200 pages, and it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of commitment too. Infinite Jest, I still haven't gotten to, but I will eventually. Rudolf Steiner, I still want to get into anthroposophic, that's a mouthful, literature. Some of the things are controversial, but in my opinion, this guy, people who have a problem with him, they just don't take the time to deal with him properly. We can discuss about it if you want to. M. Scott Peck, this man is full of wisdom, and I adore him, and I want to read more books by him. And community building, yeah. I already started that book, but it wasn't the right time for me to read it, so I put it down again. Then we got the biography of Hugo Ball and his wife, who I forgot the name of. The second part of the Graham Hancock's archaeology books. This I bought of a monk in like a shopping center like 10 years ago, and I never read it. Jonathan Safran Foer, everybody recommends me this book. The only Dickens I have, I don't know. He seems like a pain in the ass to me, but eventually I'll get to it. This book is like 900 pages, even though it looks so small. Günter Grass, Hermann Hesse. I'm not gonna go through all of these, otherwise we'll be here for a very long time. This is like my slightly more valuable books. I don't know if I've been taking the best care of them, but I found this when I went on a trip to the south of Germany in a used bookstore. The whole of In Search of Lost Time in 10 volumes for like $45 or something. It was like a steal, and I couldn't pass on it. So I bought them all and I had them shipped to my apartment, but I haven't started reading them. But maybe that's something for next year. Then this is, it's not, I don't like the color, but this is the oldest book that I own. It is from 1948. So it's not in the best condition ever, but I mean, for being so fucking old, I think it's in pretty good condition. And then we have The Tale of Genji, which this edition is, I believe, from the 50s? Well, can't find it just now, but this looks like a copy, yeah, like 54. This looks like a copy that was just in someone's shelf and hasn't been opened for a while, so that's something to get into also. Then we have a lot of big books. You notice that I'm reading all my thin books and all the big books are stacked here in the bottom. The Book of the Dead, that's very difficult to read, and I did start reading it years ago, but I didn't understand any of it. The Myth of Normal, I really should start reading that book very, very soon, because also this guy Gabor Mate, I love him. He's a very wise man, and the book is very dirty, which is completely my own fault. Then a book about the Habsburgs, which, I don't know, I keep hearing about them, the Habsburg dynasty, and I don't know anything about them. A Little Life. I read Hanya Yanagihara's other book, The People in the Trees, and I really liked it. And I think this is probably going to be quite different, but yeah, also something to get into. But all of these are very big. Garcia Marquez's autobiography, which seems a bit, I don't know, it seems a bit self-absorbed to write that almost 800-page autobiography, but I also had this one for ages and just never got into it. Then Brothers Karamazov, I used to use this as a camera stand, and I'm really eager to read this, but I think I want to read some other Dostoevsky first. I only read one called The Doppelganger, which I don't know if it has the same title in English, but I assume so. Then, I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan, to be honest, of the Beat Generation literature, but maybe On the Road by Jack Kerouac is gonna change my mind. More Thomas Mann. I have all my Thomas Mann books, except for one, in the Fisher edition, so I guess I'm collecting them now. Gone Girl. I also hear very good things about this. Should read into that. The other random stuff that I picked up at some point. This was nice. My former roommate just put this in front of my door one day. It was just there, and I took it. We have The Color Theory by Goethe, which I had a very tough time even finding books about it. But here they are. But I have to be in the right mood. And then we have Faust. in very poor condition, but you know, these Reclam editions, I think they're not for everybody, but I like them. They're so nice and thin and small, and they're super cheap, and you can get this like world literature for like €1. It's crazy. I really like them, and that's also something that I want to take a lot of time to reading for. Well, never mind my grammar there. This Thomas Mann book, that's like the 3rd volume out of 4, which obviously I should read the other ones first. I don't know, no one really talks about this, the story of Joseph, you know? This is, he kind of wrote the Old Testament story of the, you know, those people. Moses, I don't know if Moses is in there, but like Joseph and stuff, and no one talks about it, even though in total they would have way more pages than the Magic Mountain. So I don't know, maybe it sucks. We'll see. This one I'm really post-scarcity anarchism. I think it's also like a smart book that I should take some time for reading. That's, you know, I guess all the books that are easy to read I already read, and the difficult ones I just left them here. We have Ulysses here, but I want to read more literature that it's kind of based on. I want to read Homer first, and some other stuff before I get into this to really get more out of it. And then I pull this one out because it has the weirdest cover that I've ever seen. I don't know if this is appropriate to show, but I just picked up because of this weird ass cover. And then I also have this little stack right here, which these books I all got. I said it in my other video. When I left my old jobs, they gave me a ton of gifts, and I got this is one that my boss really liked, that he said got him back into reading, so I'll read that soon. Then I have another Hermann Hesse biography, which is a different one to the one that I already have. I was told this is the best book to get into anthroposophy, because it's like kind of critical of it. Zumutung, how do you say that in English? I don't know, but it's like critical of anthroposophy. A book about, I'm gonna study art therapy, by the way. I don't know if I said that, but these books are all very much fitting. This is about creativity. This is about, I was so, god damn it. I was so moved when I got this book. It's about Joseph Beuys, who is probably my favorite artist ever. And I already read his biography, but again, it's about art and spirituality and his body of work, which, I'm really, really looking forward to reading this. And then there's this big ass bookshelf where I live, and I live in a big city now, so that bookshelf has, almost every day, it has 100% different books. And I picked up Another Country by James Baldwin, and I also picked up The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. And as I said before, these ones I actually bought, even though I didn't want to buy any more books. But come on, man, these are really thin ones. As I said, I'm getting world literature, the Plato. I'm getting a book by him for 50 cents. That is absolutely insane, and I had to buy it. And then the Communist Manifesto, which for some reason recently has become very popular. I don't know why, but I'll find out. And I love these Anaconda editions, and I have a couple of them, and I have most of my Kafka and Anaconda editions, and there's something about them that I just love. I love how they feel. They're really shiny. They're like a hardbound, and if I see one, then I'm probably gonna pick it up. And, €4, it's a reasonable price. And yeah, you know what? I think that's it. I think that's all my books. So that's it. And as always, if you have anything to say about these books, if if you loved some of them, if you hate some of them, if you're offended or whatever, you know, I always like to get some input from you viewers, and I liked recently that I got some comments on my videos and I got some recommendations and we got to discuss a little bit, and it's a lot of fun. And so yeah, if you have any opinions about any of the stuff that you saw, then please share them with me, and see you in the next video.